It's time for earnings, and this week is the most interesting earnings week in a long time. The biggest dogs are heading into earnings. We have Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Tesla, Google, Alphabet, obviously, and Facebook is Meta, and basically all of the big dogs except for Nvidia. And sometimes you count Netflix in, but they already reported. And they had great earnings, by the way. We had a video here going into the earnings of Netflix, stating what you should look for when you're going into earnings, and they provided great growth. So that was nice to see. So now the big tech is under pressure based on the current global situation. We have higher taxes on trade, and all of big tech are gonna navigate the changes coming. I would say the most interesting part of the earnings will be the outlook for the companies. How are they adjusting the long-term outlook of the businesses? Because I guess the first 3 months this year will not be too affected by the earnings. So all of the changes are coming like in the second quarter and going forward this year. So this will really show the resilience the businesses have, and some of the companies like Apple, for example, obviously will be hit by the tariffs more than others, because they produce like their goods in China, a lot of it. So that will be very interesting to see the changes. Are they moving like manufacturing to United States or to India, or are they gonna move it faster than they were were looking for before? So yeah, that would be great to see. So on Tuesday, it's time for Tesla, and what I think about Tesla next earnings is a lot of things. They have not delivered like the growth expected during the first month of the year. They are supposed to start manufacturing the Cybertruck more fast. They have the capabilities in terms of factory capacity to do so. So we will see the real kind of orders for Cybertrucks, how it's really going for them. So at the moment we can't be sure if the long-term growth of Tesla will be hampered by the current situation, or if they are gonna re-accelerate the growth. So that is something to really look deep into, and also if they have any plans of new models and when the models will be released. They are supposedly thinking about producing a smaller car without wheel that will be a part of the automatic taxi network. So that is something to see how it's going. I know that they are in Austin, Texas, gonna try build out the taxi automatic self-driving cars and taxi network in a broader way. So if that works well, maybe they can go into other states, and that can be a growth factor for them. They really need to start to sell a lot more vehicles again. We have a lot of the older models like the Model 3 and the S on the roads. So now we just want something new and interesting with the Tesla emblem to spur some growth again. So that's what I will be analyzing, also to see how it's going with the androids, because the robots, that will be a huge growth opportunity. Will we see any progress here? Something to keep your eyes on, and really see if we have an earnings call with a lot of energy. I want energy from Tesla this earnings call, and hopefully they can keep the focus on the right thing here going forward, and not get like too affected by everything that's going on in the world, and the Tesla situation everyone here. And when it comes to Microsoft, it will be interesting to see. I would like to see some great news from their gaming segment, like the Xbox Live, and maybe when they are going to release a new Xbox Series. What Wall Street are looking for is like the cloud business and the cloud segment, the Azure cloud security and cloud management. A lot of companies are using Microsoft as their cloud provider because Microsoft is fast, safe, secure, and has a decent price and a very intelligent cloud. So they want the growth to continue for Microsoft Azure. And also I want to see Dynamics accelerate in pace so they can grab some of the market share from Salesforce, which is a company that I also believe a lot in. So they kind of both have some business going on in the customer relationship management. So Microsoft are trying to push in the businesses that Salesforce are having and has done so for like the latest 15 years or something. So I want them to really perform there as someone who believes in Microsoft long term. So, I mean, short term, I've heard that we might have some headwinds for the cloud segment. Some banks were like saying we believe the share price should be lower or whatever, but I still believe in Microsoft as a long-term great pick. Also, they have like a decent dividend and they're growing their dividend, so that's something to keep in mind. I also like their CEO, and overall, when I listen to their earnings calls, I am always impressed, and people should not underestimate the role Microsoft is playing in the AI space. Obviously, they are heavily invested in OpenAI, who has ChatGPT, the biggest, I would say, most hype large language model company. So keep that in mind. Long term, that will generate a lot of cash flow for Microsoft, even though we might not see it just yet. I want to see something interesting there, and maybe some clarity in what type of ownership they have, so we can recalculate that in our investment case. Okay. When it comes to Google, I'm not like super intrigued by the earnings call. It will be interesting for Google if their cloud segment can continue to grow. If they can take market share from Amazon or Microsoft, that's like a big growth opportunity for them. Also, we want to see how the advertising business are going for Google. I mean, Google Search. For me, long term, I would say that Google Search might be in for a ride when apps like ChatGPT, Meta AI, and other AI models, people use them to search instead of Google Search, and that might make the Google Search advertising money shrink a bit long term. But I haven't seen a decline yet. I thought that the decline would start, but maybe not. We should know that in many countries, like the Google search is something new. So living in Europe, in USA, etc., we have had like Google search for a long time, but in some segments, like in India, etc., Google still grow like with that type of services. So it's easy to just look at like your own picture, but as an investor, you have to look like at the real numbers, the real advertising money in this case, and the long-term growth for the company as a whole. So that's something to think about when we talk about Google. When I see Amazon, they are really a great measurement on the economy as a whole. So we will listen to that and see where we are heading. Also, Amazon is a company who has struggled a bit with earnings per share and growing that long term. So how do they, the relationship between investments and growth and long-term cash flow and earnings per share is like the most important aspect of the Amazon earnings that I like to look forward to. So yeah, that is basically the most important thing here. We have some other companies also that we should keep an eye on, like PepsiCo and Boeing, who are going to present earnings this week. So it's a huge week, and everything that is happening around just makes us a little bit more tense. My biggest holding that are reporting this week is Meta, commonly known as Facebook. So what we want to see here is some advancement in terms of their metaverse, all the money they plow into AI, etc. So let's hope for that. Also, the advertising businesses, the money printer, so to speak, we want that to grow and be sustainable. And if they can make use of AI to even make better advertisement and earn even more money, they can use that to earn more cash flow, and long term they can use that cash flow and plow the money into investments like the metaverse and the Meta AI, etc. Obviously, they are having the Llama AI models open source, so they are really trying hard to get a stamp into the AI race, and who knows, maybe that's a big growth driver in the future for Meta as a whole. So that's something to really keep an eye on, and some also to feel like what's Mark Zuckerberg, how is the feeling of his like energy levels. That's also something interesting. How will they kind of manage the current political situation going forward? Also, we have heard some sharp criticism from Meta towards, like, for example, the European Union. They think they are getting too much fines, billions of dollars, for not being secure enough in terms of personal integrity and such. So it will be a great opportunity for investors and also other like lawmakers, etc., to follow the earnings call of Meta to see how that type of relationship are going now that we have this specific evolving dynamic in the world. Add to all this that we have some drama going on around the Federal Reserve. Are they gonna lower the rates or not? At the moment, there are some pressure that they should, because there are some policies that short term might lower growth in America, and to counteract the lower growth rate with lowering the interest rate might be a good way to not getting like a recession. But as everyone knows, Federal Reserve is not the president can't decide how they manage their policies. So these type of macro events are also in the background going into the earnings here, which makes it even more spicy. So I would say just save a couple of hours in your calendars, listen to the earnings call, dive right into what you want to, the companies you invest in or want to invest in, or even if you just want to get a grip on like the society at the moment and where we're heading, and how the biggest brains are thinking going forward. I just want some great positive long vibes long term here, some growth opportunities, some great outlooks, so we can look forward and keep going, not just the short-term drama. Also on Thursday we have Intel reporting, and basically when you're an investor in AMD like I am, or Nvidia, who has a lot of investors out there, Intel is very interesting because they provide a lot of CPUs, computer processors, processor units. So depending on what they report, that might affect the semiconductor market as a whole, and that is something that can affect the stocks you're holding short term, but also if they are having a really bad like quarter, maybe some market share has been added to another company like Nvidia or AMD. So that is something I also would like to keep an eye on here. Yeah. And PepsiCo on Friday is also interesting because basically the consumption and the inflation are companies like Coca-Cola and PepsiCo has a really good take on the everyday consumption. If people can't afford like Coca-Cola or Pepsi's or snacks, we know that it's rough out there. So it's a great way to take the temperature on the society. So Friday we have a little interesting evening there. So that will also be something that I will follow up. And yeah, after that we have an amazing week coming to an end, and we will see. We have I think it was like about $3.8 trillion, 22% market cap has been erased from the Magnificent Seven, included Nvidia also. So going into the earnings, also Monday here today, we have like the market's going down. We have some market capitalization being shredded from the biggest companies. So if we have a negative reaction on the earnings, I think we are going into a territory where it will be interesting to add, if you believe in any of the companies here, to add some shares. Obviously you have to do your own due diligence and have the money to spend and also the money to lose. You never know what's happening in the stock market, but if you are a long-term investor, these type of companies are often interesting to invest in if you time it right and have the long-term view on this type of thing. So that is why it's also a very interesting week going forward. Thank you for watching or listening, and on to the next time. If you have anything you want to add, just address it in the comments. Thank you very much. Don't forget to drop a like or subscribe, and push the notification bell if you want this channel to grow. It's always hard to grow a channel when it's a bit smaller, so that will be great. And obviously if you like the content, that's the most important. So if you like the content and want more,